Led by a lifelong interest in healing, Dr. Linda Salvin pursued an advanced degree in epidemiology. Then, after dramatic near-death experiences, Dr. Linda saw the other side and returned with gifts of insight, visions, and revealed wisdom. Now those gifts are ongoing, and she's here to share them with you. Get ready to be amazed. It's time for Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast with America's original radio psychic, Dr. Linda Salvin, offering up her always fascinating blend of psychic psychology, clairvoyant insights, and expert guests and alternative healing methods. So pull up a chair and get ready for a visit with the one and only Dr. Linda. And now, live from Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Linda Salvin.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Psychic Solutions Podcast, and I hope you're having a good day or night or wherever it is that you're watching or downloading or visiting or what channel you're using to access the show. I'm at Dr. Linda Salvin on YouTube. I'm on drlindaradio.com, which is down right now. I'm having a lot of server problems, folks. But by the time you hear the show, by midnight Pacific time, March 5th, we should have everything resolved after a 5-day nightmare. I am on iTunes, iHeart, a lot of radio podcasts, and also uploading at lindasalvin.com, where my own station sits, which is Dr. Linda Radio and Psychic Solutions Podcast. It all points there. So however you Google me, you're going to find me. I am a talk show host, a psychic, a healer, a medium. I've been doing this type of broadcast for over 30 years now. And I love bringing on new guests with new ideas and new experiences that you haven't heard in the past. And today we have somebody calling in when joining us from Switzerland. So they're 10 hours. She's 10 hours ahead of us here. Right now it's about 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific. So it's 10 p.m. in Europe. Let's bring on Sandra Muller. Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the Dr. Linda Psychic Solutions Podcast. It's wonderful to see you. You look adorable. And I met Sandra last month at the Conscious Life Expo, people. And she's got an amazing book out called Crystal Clear Joy. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just channel conversations with the Council of AR. AR is the Altus-Reciproximity.
Proximity.
Okay, what does that mean? Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. Thank you again.
I loved meeting you at the table when we were upstairs after the George Nuri event, and you handed Glennis a book. I said, "Oh, I would love one and put you on my show," and here you are.
Exactly. When it's meant to happen,
everything
it just goes very fast, right?
Yes. I love the way the typeset is of your book. It's very easy to read. We dance with the divine within you, within your breath and the life field that you are. We rescue the ones who are drowning in their stubbornness, thinking they can control life. No, we are not in control. We have to surrender control and let it happen, even though we have to navigate. So how did all this happen? Who are you? Where did it come from?
Well, I'm born in Chile, raised in Switzerland. So I have mountain energy in my life, and I went to Los Angeles at 19 to study gemology at the GIA in Santa Monica in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a trained gemologist and a jewelry designer, and had a long career in Los Angeles.
So you've always had an attraction for gems and rocks and shiny crystals. Good.
Yes, that started very early. That's a beautiful crystal.
Black amethyst. I got it at the event.
Oh, wow. Black amethyst.
Yeah. And so you would appreciate it. There's a lot of energy. I just broke a rainbow crystal that I don't want anymore, and I threw it in the trash. You have spiritual energy, and the spiritual people were drawn to the earth elements.
Right. And it's so important right now to acknowledge Mother Earth and her minerals. There's that section in the book that is very interesting. Well, I'll explain first who the Council of AR is, if you want.
Let's go back to just a moment. When you studied here in Los Angeles at the Gem Institute, And then you went on and made what, crystal jewelry and jewelry with the different
I
gemstones?
had, yes, I had a store in Los Angeles, a jewelry store. I had my own brand of jewelry. I sold in many places. I designed jewelry for lots of different brands.
And the
And
celebrities too. Didn't you mention the
yeah,
celebrities were wearing your work? Yeah, I think it's
yes,
wonderful.
many celebrities. I had a store. That was my life for 30 years in Los Angeles. And I burned out,
I know what that
working.
feels like. Yeah, after a while. Plus, you grow up, you think, what else is there, right?
Yes. So
Go
I
on.
really did burn out. I was working like crazy. When I had the store, I didn't really like being a store owner.
Stop.
I
I just had this conversation last week with a restaurant owner. You love the jewelry, you love the creativity, but
no,
owning the store is the business and
yes,
the marketing and the inventory and the
yeah,
QuickBooks, the banking and the employees and the customer service. And people forget that even though
exactly.
it's a store and you love making things, the back end is insane.
But what happened is that, when it's not meant to be for you, Spirit has a way to give you what you're meant to do. So what
Doors
happened in the
open.
store is that I had an armed robbery attempt with the
Oh my
gun in my
gosh.
head, and I saved
Where was the
myself.
store?
It was on Martel and near the Grove.
Melrose? And Melrose and Beverly and Third up in there?
Yeah, exactly. I had the store for many years. And I kept on saying to my friends, I
Oh,
don't want to have a jewelry store, because I was also selling in different stores. But I kept on paying the rent of the store, and the universe pulled out the rug underneath my feet, with an armed robbery attempt. So that was the beginning of having to undo a store. It's so much easier to create something than to undo it. And I'm so grateful for
what
that
year
armed
was
robbery.
this? What year was this?
2008 was the armed robbery.
Right
Then,
when we had the meltdown with the whole financial system and the housing market. Go on. Oh, you were right in that loop.
well, then I moved into my house. I lived in Beverly Hills. And I still didn't want to live in Beverly Hills. I kept on wanting to live in Topanga. That was my
Canyon. For
dream.
people that
You
don't
know,
know, Topanga is a very mountainous canyon.
Topanga Canyon.
And you got to be kind of bohemian, wearing a lot of jeans and t-shirts,
Yeah.
and there's horses. It's country people. The Beverly Hills, you need your Gucci, and you got to be dressed up and go to the restaurants and be shishi and drive your
Right.
Mercedes and look cool. Go on. This is great. I love it.
So I wanted to move to Topanga, but I was a jewelry designer, so it wasn't like really matching. And all my friends kept on saying, you'll lose your business because of the driving. If you know Los Angeles, you
That's a
drive.
long ride. Yeah.
But what happened is that in May 2010, I had a pulmonary embolism and a near-death experience at Cedars-Sinai. And I was going to a surgery when I saw my body, down there, and me
Well,
up
that's the
here.
out of body. That's different than near death. That's out of
No,
body.
I
I've
was
had three.
very dead.
No, I've been through it 3 times.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Especially during
So,
surgery to avoid the pain.
yeah, no, so that was so interesting, because it was right before the surgery. They were actually going to amputate my left leg because the
Oh my
pulmonary
God.
embolism was here, but I also had lost all circulation
So
on
there's
my
no
left
blood
leg.
flow at all, but you're okay because you have
Yes,
both legs.
yes.
Oh,
But
you're
what
wonderful.
happened was so beautiful is that when I figured out that they were trying to save me down there, I asked, it's silly in America, you say 911, right? You're trained to call 911. So I called 911 God, and I asked
Oh gosh,
for another chance, because I had a puppy. I wasn't worried about the jewelry or anything.
no,
I
you
was
wanted
worried
the
I
puppy.
was going to take care of my puppy. So I said, and I remember this, I said, if you give me more time, I will do charity, which was not a word I would use a lot, because I was really working like in the hamster wheel, I was working 7 days a week. I didn't really have time to do a lot of charity, although I gave jewelry to charities. And so when I said the word, I'll do charity, I meant it so much that I woke up from the surgery, a different surgery, not the amputation surgery. They were able to save my leg. I woke up from, with my 2 legs from a radiology surgery where they had pumped the blood clot out, and placed the stent. Anyways, a lot of details, but I was alive with 2 legs, and it took a recovery, but I was totally changed. And I know what you mean, that after a near-death
You're different. You're different.
Yeah. So it took me a while to understand what would be charity in my life.
Is it catheter ablation? Did they do a catheter ablation to push through the embolism? Do you know, in the radiology?
I don't know how they call it.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it was
I had that on my heart. I had that
Yeah.
on my heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Go on. This is fascinating. By the way, if you're listening out there, people, pop into the comments and start talking to me with Sandra, who's calling in from Switzerland. Talking from Switzerland, and the call-in number is on the screen, 561-623-9421. If you'd like to join the conversation. We don't normally get calls, but I put it out there. Go ahead. This is fascinating because I relate.
Well, this started going really fast. I was not doing my life mission, basically. So the pulmonary embolism was one thing, but
No,
then
you were.
finally,
No. You were doing
finally
your life
moved to
mission. They
Topanga.
changed your life mission. You were picked or selected to alter.
Yeah, I don't know how it works, right?
You do.
Because
I
I
do.
feel
No,
that I started this journey very, very early,
Yeah.
very early. And so I recovered. I moved to Topanga, so I was very happy.
Good.
And I loved it. And I
Did you
started
go to the end of the
making
7th grade,
jewelry
go to
again.
little shops down there and have a
Yeah.
horse?
I loved it. I was so happy there. It was a hippie life, but I loved it. It was exactly what my soul needed. And so I started hiking, getting really healthy, making jewelry again. And then one day, February 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh my God,
So
Sandra.
I know, but it's such a beautiful story, and I want to share it because I already had a shaman in Topanga called Amanda Folger, and she's an amazing shaman. And so she was already seeing me. So when I was diagnosed and the doctors were saying, 3 months to live if you don't do this and this and this, I went to her and she did a shamanic journey on me. And I was having a lot of visions all the time when she would use her drum. And
It
in my
awakens the soul. It awakens the spirit. I'm a shaman. I've been healing people since 1992. Yes, 1991.
So,
I understand. This is great. Your soul woke up. This is beautiful.
it was so extraordinary because I had this amazing surgery done in my visions, with the condor. And she got an amazing message. She said to me, "With spirit want you to dance the happy dance, to thank them for these cells because you're not going to die of it. And this is going to bring you so much possibilities to help others. And it is a celebration." So first the doctors tell you all these bad news, then you go to a great shaman and she says, "No, let's dance."
The holistic and spiritual world is very different. I don't know if you read my background.
Yes, I
because
did.
Epidemiology is very clinical. Then I was in a plane crash, hit by a fire truck, totaled a car, had the white light experience, had a couple of surgeries where I became the healer. Then after another surgery of 100 tumors being removed, I became the medium. So when we go through these physical changes, spirit redoes us, and we become the helper on the planet, whether we're the healer, the shaman, the channeler, the author. Yeah, your light, even though we did the quote normal jobs, then all of a sudden you get knocked over. But it's like a rebirth. It's a new beginning. There's lights on in a different room. Go on. This is great.
And remember that I had offered myself to do charity.
Yes.
So I meant it. So I think Spirit was just taking me on the journey to prepare me for being able to be at service. So I did all this. I did all the chemos and all that, and and I started studying everything I could during the chemotherapy. I studied crystal healing with Katrina Raphael. I studied everything and that I could, and I started studying training shamanically with the Foundation for Shamanic Studies,
I love
and
it.
the lineage of Michael Herner. And when I first did the basic course, I knew I had found.
You were on your right path. You found what
I
resonated.
was home. I knew it. When it's not something like you believe. When you just know. So that's how it started. And the channeling started very fast. Once I got trained, I took a lot of training very fast before COVID. And when COVID started, I was in Chile. I was stuck in Chile at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, you probably couldn't fly out because they had restrictions, right?
I
Wow.
couldn't come back to America, but I had a lot of crystals with me. And I thought, well, if I have a lot of time and a lot of crystals, I'm just going to journey to each of my collection of crystals, the small crystals, to do crystal healing on the body and just ask them questions. I started very naively like that, just asking my helping spirits to connect me to the mother of each crystal. And I started receiving these amazing messages. So I called my shaman, Amanda Folger in Topanga, and I told her that I was getting to do a book on crystal healing that would be a book that would have the messages of the crystals that they want to give today. They kept on saying that the old books were a bit obsolete because the energies had changed.
That changed, yeah, every decade. Go on.
Right? So Amanda told me, no, do not start this book so fast because, in shamanism, we want to know if the messages are for you or for sharing to other people. Are these messages that you are receiving are for you? So she asked me to do another journey to my helping spirits to ask clarification if I was going to share this medicine to other people,
right,
or if it was just for me. So that's when the channeling started. That journey, I got really clear. Yes, I got really clear channeling from the helping spirit saying, we want you to do this. Tell your elder that it's fine. Things have changed. You're going to do this. And so I called her and she gave me her blessings. And what happened is I came back to America because finally we were able to come back. And I completely forgot about the book because my health was priority. And so I started coming to Switzerland to visit my family that was in Switzerland. And one day I was just doing shamanic journeys every day. One day the spirits just told me, you're going to write a book. And I said, what kind of book is it if it's not going to be about each crystal? And they said, just start with this channeling. And that's how the book came about.
Okay, so now we have the book. Let's move on because we don't have a lot of time. I understand that. The book can be found everywhere on Amazon and everything on time. But talk more about who AR is or what. Okay. Let's jump into what you're communicating, who you're talking to, who you're connected to.
There's so much. Okay, so
I know,
when I started channeling, I asked them, who am I speaking with? And that's when they said, we are the Council of Altus-Reciproximity. And I said, what does that mean? Altus from Latin is above, to bring back to our proximity the energies of the all. So they
Like the
made me
light, like the
abbreviated
light.
AR. Yes. So it was always a process of questions and answers, me asking a lot of questions. And now I understand that the Council of AR is a group of helping spirits that I connect to, that I see in different shapes and forms, but that unite as one energy to download the frequency of the
Like
channeling.
different files on a computer, and you just hit click and you've got the whole file out of the folder.
Right. So they kind of merge.
Yeah, they
So
integrate. I
so
understand.
then, yeah, it's so beautiful because sometimes they have surprises for me when I go and I ask, is there a message today? And they've made me channeled Mary Magdalene. One day they made me channel, they brought in a Pleiadian another day. That was an
I
amazing
got the
channeling.
Palladians, because I believe the Palladians
Wow.
communicate with us in our sleep and are always programming us, giving us new knowledge
Oh,
and wisdom.
beautiful.
Yeah.
The day I channeled the Pleiadian energy, I will never forget because
And it blue. It's very calming.
my body was buzzing. The energy afterwards, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. It was
Well, it's
completely,
exciting. It's stimulating.
yes, so beautiful. So, it is really, I'm at the beginning of the journey. The journey every day is changing. And this summer, they asked me to give a healing every single day that I do now. At the same time, it's based on a subscription. It's called Crystal Clear Healing Energy, CCHE. So I do it at the same time for 15 minutes, and the people subscribe, and they let me know in the
Everybody around the
subscription
world
that
feels it.
yeah.
It's a
So
collective journey.
yeah.
Good for
So
you.
that's been really exciting for me because the circle is getting larger, and I feel that people are using this in very different ways. A person that does it from New York, who's an attorney, she let me know that she needed movement to get in the space. She couldn't just sit and meditate and receive the healing. So she realized she liked to do Tai Chi. So she's doing it while she's doing Tai Chi movements, and that works for her. Another person who's a painter is doing it while painting. So the connection to source is what is the most important for all of us to remember, to give a little bit of time every day to connect. And we're all different. We're all the same and all different. So we all have, like, I like to connect in meditation. That is my way, in silence, in meditation, just to receive. But some people find that difficult, and they need to move or be walking or be in
It's
nature.
just like it says here, put your mind to work for a moment to connect with what can benefit all, not just some. You've got all of this in the book. You're explaining how they spoke to you and how to activate fear to use the vibration and transform it into the excitement, which we just talked about, like the stimulation of your connection to self. Because the mind, body, spirit, we are just in the temple of our soul, which is the body. And I talk about this. I've been doing this for over 30 years. So you're just bringing on a new vocabulary of saying the position you're in to help people. And I think it's wonderful because you radiate light. It's all over your face, not just because of the ring light, but I mean, you've got light. When I stood at the table and met you, I connected immediately. I just felt it.
That's so
I
sweet.
felt it because you were talking to Glennis, and then I just looked at you and you looked at me, and then here we are.
But
I
don't
just
you think we're all like connecting to the same source?
Yeah, but we're not always in the same soul circle. See, I call it soul circle. There's people on the outside. There's some that you clash with. There's some that you just love. Like the puppy was more important than anything else because you love life. It's like on the internet, you see, do dogs and horses have souls? Of course they do. A plant has a soul. I hate it when I go to a doctor's office or a store and I see a dying plant. I want to water it because people don't take care of the living. It's like you in the canyon. You gotta be around life. God put all this out there for us, and half the people don't see it. Just like, one of the tables upstairs where I saw this. I must have walked by it 2 or 3 times. I thought, I got to have it. It kept calling me. And that's like what called you as a child, all the stones and the crystals. And then it's the evolution of your path. And now you've gone through all that. Now you're in this next chapter. And now you're becoming a healer among healers for other people. And it's wonderful. But let's get back to the book.
Okay.
Okay, because I understand your soul evolution from past lives, this life awakening, the shamanic responses. I had a psychiatrist tell me years ago after the plane crash, I'm a shaman, and I am, because I heal people with breathing, color, and words. I don't do it as much anymore because I've already done it. It's kind of like the burnout you went through. I've gone through burnout. My book's coming out this year as to what I've done for 30 years with channeling dead people and healing. And I'm at the tail end of that, and I'm going into another area. I'm transitioning myself. We all go through it in different phases, but it's like here we're just talking about it. What is the difference between healing and curing? We can't always cure things, but we can help people become more comfortable. But what's your definition between healing and curing?
It's interesting, this question. I love this question because people are so afraid of death. But when you have seen it face to face in various occasions like that, like you or me, I'm not afraid of death. So I understand when they said in the book that sometimes the healing for a person will be to allow them to go through the death process, to allow that soul to go through it.
And
Right, that we have this contract. We're in a school, we're in a dance, and a lot of people want immediate cure, like instant cure. They don't understand that the beauty is in the journey. If you get right, if you get everything that you want, your life would be such a miserable life, I think. If every time you want something, you just point at it, and you need to also allow the healing to happen. That's one thing, because I do give a lot of healings to people long distance and in person. And I always tell them, if you want this to work, you need to allow it to open. I can't work with somebody who just wants the miracle cure. Just
I agree. I agree. I do healings. I was given a gift after I had emergency surgery in 1991. I was given a healing gift, and I healed a schizophrenic that had 26 different personalities. Put her back together, where no doctors or therapists or institutions could. Her mother flew in to thank me, but I was given a tool, a gift to use with my hands and certain colors and words. And I've been healing people for 30 years. And I'll say it's usually a 7-day process by the time I do it to when it goes full circle, but that doesn't mean it's ending. It's really starting. It's the whole shift. And the same thing with you. We open the door, but the process, no, it's not going to be, oh, I feel terrific. It's like going to a chiropractor is one thing. We're being adjusted, but the spiritual and emotional healing from trauma and pain, which I have found lots of problems are lodged in the bones and tissues and muscles and organs of the body. I have a gift of removing it. And that's been my claim to fame. I'm working with a guy in Switzerland right now who went to doctors and had problems with his foot, and the ultrasound they couldn't figure it out. I do candle magic as my drugs. I do candle magic. So he'd been working with me years ago. He asked me to do some health and wellness candles. I have the testimony. It's on the website. He can walk. There's no pain. I did what the doctors couldn't.
Yes.
Through spiritual healing and candle magic. We all have our own little tool, but the average clinical left brain cognitive way of thinking,
there are miracles.
I have discovered we go beyond, because the universe gave us these gifts, just like herbs, just like crystals. They're not there by accident. Trees aren't there by accident. Little bumblebees, I see them dead on the ground. I pick them up, I put it in a plant, and I say, I'm sorry, because I know we, as the universe, the people, were killing the bees.
Yes.
So whenever I see one before my car or something, I just go, oh, there's another one. And I put it in the plant just to kind of like give back.
To honor her, or, his life.
And most people don't even see that, do they, Sandra? They've got their blinders on like this, but you and I
feel that a lot of people are just waking up through their own pain, through their own sadness. They're asking the right questions, and they're really I see it a lot. I saw it in me, but I also see it in a lot of my friends and family and patients. They really want to understand what else can our lives bring us.
Every generation has this. So where you're at in your generation, you're drawing in those people. When I started in the 90s, I had that demographic of people. Some people are still with me 30 years later. They've got a chapter in my book because they've been with me the whole time. Other people are just a few months into me. It's the same thing with you. We're all on the journey. It depends when we get here or there or hop on the bus, right?
Yes.
It's all going into the same direction. And it's what do they say? When the student is ready, the teacher appears. So the people you're drawing in are ready for what you have to offer them. And it's just like when people come to me, whether they want it or not, you find out either you connect or you don't. Do I get along with everybody? No. I read voices, and I have for 35 years. I'm so sensitive to the voice. I don't need to see somebody. I read, from radio. I know how to hear in 2 seconds if I'm going to like them or not. And either I snap or my spirit takes over and yells or snaps because I'm in protection of their attack or negativity or their pain. It might be so detrimental. I don't want it. So I react to keep it away. They may think I'm a bitch. They may think I'm mean, but I've learned my spiritual side is protecting me from no longer having like the vultures or the bullies or the entities attached to me. I don't need that. We've all been through it. So I protect myself, as do you. Let's go back to the book. I mean, you could be talking about this for 5 hours. There's so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so loving that you like the book because
I love the book. I go through different pages. Talk about the third eye activation. Because everybody talks about, my third eye sees this, my third eye is opening. What does that mean to you? It's right here between our eyebrows. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get, I'm still being activated with the third eye. I find it like a work in progress. People want to activate their third eye, and we're all psychic. We're all capable if we allow ourselves, because we're all made this computer.
I disagree. I don't think we're all psychic. I believe we're all intuitive.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all intuitive. If everybody were psychic, the world would be more imbalanced than it is. We're all spiritually.
But do you think a mom is not psychic with her child? Intuitive. Okay.
Psychic is clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. Okay. But the intuition, oh my God, he's going to touch the stove. Oh my God, she's going to fall down. Oh my God, she's fine. That's different. We all have that. Different. We can open and elevate. This is my opinion. And through my experiences, I'm 70 years old now. I started this. I was in my first near death at 27, 43 years ago in the plane crash. So I've been at this a long time. Everybody's got their different points in their journey and on the clock, But the way I have seen it and the people I've talked to, clairvoyancy is on a different frequency than the intuition. There's different levels of intuition that we're born with. Learning to trust, that's the first step. Then that heightens. So I agree with you there. The channeling is a whole different aspect than clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. It's another definition defined.
Channeling is very interesting, don't you think? Because I took a training with a Swiss healer, and she's a channeler with angels and wonderful lady, and I was so interested in it, and I asked her at the end of the training, can I study this? And she gave me, a scenario that she had received the channeling through a light bulb, and she had fallen off her chair, a very dramatic thing. Wow. And I said, oh no, I don't worry about it. I didn't want that to happen to me. But yet, because my soul was going to eventually do it, there was that thirst for it. And I think when we know our contract a little bit, when we are very open, to feel our contract, we kind of know in advance when things are going to happen. And that's probably why I was asking her, could I study it? And in my
Well, you
case,
were drawn to it. You were curious. You were suspicious.
there was a thirst. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
No,
a feeling of
that's that
knowing.
spiritual thirst
Yeah.
that we go for on a spiritual level. That's
Yeah.
true. But I have not really seen people that can train you. It happens to people more than like it happened to you because you had the experiences in the hospital, you had the surgeries.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't go looking to become a medium, but it happened after I had 100 tumors removed from my hips and thighs after healing people for so long. And I saw where all the energy went into my hips and thighs because I saw where the scars were from the imprint of my fingers. It all came together as to how and why. I didn't ask for it. I didn't go to college for it.
No.
The beauty is in this day and age, they now offer more alternative holistic practices on campuses. They're not as conservative. They're more open now. Not quite. I mean, the medical schools are leaning more towards nutrition. Finally, they're beginning to see alternatives. They're not going to teach herbology yet because that'll take away from pharmaceuticals. So there's still that imbalance, but there's a lot of doctors that see outside the box. I'm outside the box, you're outside the box, and the people who are in between the boxes come to people like you and me to get them where they want to go. And that's the beauty. We have choice.
But I feel that you come trained for this way before this lifetime.
From a past life, I think a lot of the energy and the interest is there. You may have been a healer in a past life. You may have been a nurse in a past life. You may have worked in a coal mine. You may have been, in the medical world at some point. And then whatever it was, because you were so drawn to the rocks and the gems, that took you into the world of entertainment, fame, fortune, money. You had all of the blessings, but you were exhausted and lonely and tired.
And now I'm happy. Right? Yes, and now I'm thrilled. I'm happy. I feel like I'm living my best life. When you get to help somebody,
being of service has its own rewards. Yes.
And the fact that I went through so many different things, including cancer, and it gives me the compassion to listen to somebody when they are going through something similar.
You can identify, and they know you're listening because you've been through something similar. So we're exchanging our experiences to give somebody hope. We give somebody else hope, like somebody gave you hope.
Yes, I think Spirit trained me to do this work throughout my entire life by giving me all the things that I was going to see.
Obstacles and tumbling around. Yeah.
Yes, I really think so, because unusually I get so many people that come and tell me that something that happened in my life is happening in theirs. So, you see like the synchronicity, like there is magic in everything.
Yes.
There is everything is in perfect order, even when things are not on the physical level. I believe strongly that Spirit always has an eye on us, that we are being protected. And sometimes when we don't get what we want, it is just a protection.
Or a delay. God's rejection is God's protection, or a coincidence, God acting anonymously.
Yes.
The spiritual alignment, Dr. Carl Jung spoke about synchronicity. He was one of the first to define synchronicity when the dolphins would jump out of the water and sink. So he coined the term in the early 1900s. He was on a train ride. I don't know, he might have been in Europe, watching the dolphins come out of the water. I have to go back and research. It's been so long. But that's where synchronicity's term came from. Aristotle and Hippocrates, they were all talking about it back in, the beginning of time. But each generation of time, whether it's, from 5 AD to some BC to going into the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, and 2000s, we just keep evolving. We're not disappearing. Oh, it's the end times. Oh, we're going to die. Yes, I believe we're going to have World War III. Yes, there's going to be more death. Yes, there's more destruction coming. But the light workers are going to keep, people like you and me will keep a lot of us through the dark to get to the other side, which I believe is probably by 2030, then the whole new portal opens up again. And I think
the council is saying about that, what the Council of AR is saying about that, it is that we need to decrete, I think you say in English.
What
If
is it?
we want decrete, decretar means like to say it very pinpointing that you want to be here right now, that you want to be part, because we have this free will, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that if one wants to go through the new earth, the new change coming, that we need to say in ourselves,
We're committing to it.
yeah, I'm here
There's
to
a lot
say,
of people die of accidents,
yeah,
cancer. They're dying young of other purposes, poisons,
they don't
whatever.
want
They
to
want
be
to be here to fight,
here.
right?
Yeah, they don't want to be here. So they tell me so beautifully to let them go and bless them, because they know exactly that they don't want to go through the hardship that we might go through in order to evolve humanity.
You're
But
right. You're absolutely
so
correct.
it really is up to you. And I always tell everybody, you choose. Do you want to live? Or do you want to be alive? Just say it. Just live it. Do your whole day thinking, I'm here. The worst is when we have one foot, in disease and one foot in health. The universe doesn't know which one to give you if you're not sure which one you want.
Yeah, but then people come to people like you and me, and we show them the pathway to what's going to be stronger.
Inspire them. Yeah. They have to do their own decisions.
Well, it's just like here it said, you wrote, become one who inspires others by your own actions more than words. Actions inspire, words control. Then it says, this is what you could be praying for. And I'm going to share this because we're almost at the end. Please help me. I have only one request, not more abundance. You've had that. Not more everlasting beauty, not more of what I have always thought I deserve. Please just give me the openness to embody the bright golden column of light that connects me to source. I'm getting chills. The bright light inside of me that can transform me into a powerful lantern that can not only be used to light the path for another soul, but that can embody what I am here for in its fullness, a soul placed inside a short-lived vessel to experience the sublimeness I am made of. And that's exactly what we've been talking about this whole session or show, is how we're all connected. We all have choice. Yes, we have free will. Some of us are knocked down and given a wake-up call like you've had with the cancer and the embolism, and it's scary. It's very scary. And that's coming from somebody that had it all, and you look great to the world, and inside you're dying. Soul was like, hey, I'm like that dying plant. I need water. So you got out of all of that to open up the light. And now you're on this journey to help hundreds of people everywhere, Sandra. So talk about the book again. It's on Amazon.com. It's called Crystal Clear Joy, The Council of AR. And this is Sandra Muller.
There we go. I have it here.
So
Crystal Clear Joy. It's all about bringing back in your life the joy that we all can tap into. So it's crystal clear. It's they gave the name. I just am a scribe. The whole book is channeled.
I think it's beautiful.
Thank you. It is very simple. It's a simple book. It's very basic. It's a good book for people who want to start the journey.
Well, it's like here, where are we going? I ask. We land on a beautiful white sandy beach. I am mesmerized by the heavenly turquoise ocean and the soft white sand. We walk on the sand. One of my power animals rides on my shoulders. The other walks next to me. I feel happy. So you're in the moment. And that's what I try to help people. I mean, I have been so overwhelmed with what's going on. Sometimes you can't always be in the moment, be super spiritual when things are not going right, especially with the tech world. Do not get me going. I do not understand.
It's very hard for us.
Yeah, I've spent 30 years building what I have, and now it's offline like it never existed. They can't find it. So it's very painful and upsetting, but it'll work its way through. And in the meantime, I got to get other things done. And I'm going on a trip to Alaska next week, and I want to hopefully see. I want to see the Northern Lights. Hopefully, right now they're not. I'm watching them out. Yeah, can you see them in Switzerland?
No.
You have to go to Norway or Finland.
We see them in Patagonia, in my country, in the south of Chile, but I have never been able to see them. And it's in my bucket list. I really want to see them and swim with the dolphins.
I've swam with the dolphins in Hawaii. You've got to do that. That's fun.
Oh.
You will love it, but I'm going for the lights. Now, if that's not a light show from God, I don't know what is. So I'm going next week, and let's just hope that, even though they're dim now, that they're there when I get there. But it's just like anything else, we are all crystals. We all are our own unique, because there are no two crystals alike. I can see they all come out of the ground, and they take thousands of years.
So many beauties, Mother Nature I have such a big collection.
Me too. I got them all over the house. I play with them. Some break, some I glue, some I leave broken in half, and I have two in my hand instead of one big long wand. I have both energies from them. But you've been a delight to interview. I will get you a copy of the show, and then you can use it for your
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to see you again next time I come to LA.
I'm sure. I don't know. Yeah, next year. I don't know if I'll be at the convention or not. It's too far away. But if you are in LA, of course, look me up and let me know. I'm not coming to Europe right away. But again, folks, if you're interested in understanding Sandra's journey and how she opened up to give you information on a spiritual level to understand how to connect with your source and how to let go. Here's another woman similar to me who's had near-death experiences that was awakened, given the journey or given the wisdom to help be of service to somebody else. And there was one more in here. We do talk about the 4 elements, which is something we all do. But, I love the part about the water being an ally, and it allows it to have life. Just like I said, water the plant. We are those plants. We have to keep feeding and nurturing. We have to nurture daily.
Yes, and they can find me at loveacrystal.com. Simple.
Say that again.
My website is called loveacrystal.com.
Loveacrystal.com. And is there the
we
website?
Love crystals. Loveacrystal.com.
Okay, and so it's loveacrystal.com. If you want to email, it's info@loveacrystal.com.
Yes,
it's going to get to that. Okay, and then lastly, what does the actual design mean? I know we are the center. We're the center. We are the center.
Symbol. You see, it's the AR symbol that the spirits gave. So the center is the human being. The 6 axis is the axis of crystal, and the lines that go in every direction is the possibility of a human being to expand.
And connect.
And the star is to remind us that we're all star seeds.
What a beautiful way to end the show.
This is the symbol they gave me, and I absolutely...
Can we buy them on your website?
Yes, you can buy these. They're hand-carved. They're not laser. They're hand-carved in Switzerland. Because laser, I didn't like it. It didn't have the right energy. So I choose to hand-carve them with an amazing wood carver.
Last question, then. How long into the work with the AR did the symbol present itself?
The first day, the second day. It was all so fast. They wanted to work fast. And I didn't, if we have a minute, I didn't like the symbol at the beginning. And I kept on asking them, can we have another symbol for the book, like a lotus flower or a little hummingbird? And they would laugh. I would
No,
see
because they didn't want you to be like everybody else. They wanted you to be different.
No, it was because they wanted to show me how powerful this symbol is. And they allowed me to have doubts. And then I saw the documentary of the Thrive One documentary. And in that documentary, they talk about the vector equilibrium, which is the energy of source. And it was so similar to the symbol. I was like, oh, and I went back to my spirits and said, okay, I get it. And they were laughing so much. I wanted a little lotus flower when they were giving me.
No, you're beyond the lotus flower, and we're beyond time on the show here today, Sandra. I want to thank you again for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Linda Salvin, Psychic Solutions Podcast. Again, you can reach Sandra Muller and learn all about the AR by going to Amazon.com. Look for the Crystal Clear Joy, and you will become more joyful by reading her inspirational messages within the book. I will have you back on. I will stay backstage. I got to close the show. This is Dr. Linda Salvin. Have a wonderful week. Tomorrow I've got Candy Finnegan with the Recovery Wednesday. We're doing As the Road Narrows. Thursday I'll be doing Healing with Dr. Linda and talking about different modalities on that show. Until then, everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to click subscribe at YouTube, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed Dr. Linda Salvin's Psychic Solutions Podcast. You can reach Dr. Linda at 888-509-1077 or at lindasalvin.com. Need a breakthrough of your own? Ready for answers or insights nobody else has? Reserve your own one-on-one in-person chat. Dr. Linda isn't just for other people. Dr. Linda gets results for you. And it's easy. Contact details are on screen now. Just click on lindasalvin.com or call toll-free 888-509-1077. That's lindasalvin.com or toll-free at 888-509-1077.